News leader. WHNT News 19 at 5 starts now.
Well, we are starting off talking about storms moving through the Tennessee Valley, some of which are severe. This storm here in Giles County, you see a ton of lightning with this stuff. We'll take the lightning off and take a closer look at this storm that's now pushing south of Pulaski. And you can see here, this is going to be moving into parts of northeastern Limestone, northwestern Madison counties. This storm has a history of producing wind damage and fairly significant damage in parts of Lawrence County. Some really large trees were knocked down by this thing. This is going to be pushing off to the south and east. So if you're watching us in, say, Harvest, about 521, this will be on top of you, Meridianville, 534. This is probably going to be at the state line within the next 15 or 20 minutes. And again, this is a storm with a history of wind damage. So if you're watching us north and east of Athens and generally to the north and west of Huntsville, just want to keep an eye on this. They have not extended this warning yet, but no, this is a storm that has a history of producing damage. Also some thunderstorms that have been moving through the north side of Huntsville all the way up towards Meridianville and into Lincoln County. Those are drifting off to the east right now as well. This is a view of some of those storms right now in Madison County from up on Montesano. Some of the heavier downpours there in Madison County through the next few hours. Temperatures start to slowly trend down through the 80s. We'll keep that chance for showers and storms in the forecast through the rest of the evening as well. I'll let you know if these storm chances continue into the Independence Day holiday or if we get some drier weather on the way coming up.
This is not rocket science. Pay attention. Maybe in March you didn't get it, but we're in July. We're almost in July. And if you can't figure this out by now, then I'll be honest with you, there's something wrong.
Today, the governor announced she is extending her safer at home order until July 31st, and that is where we begin today on WHNT News 19 at 5. Welcome in, everyone. I'm Greg Screws.
And I'm Shevaun Bryan. This means Alabamians will be expected to follow the same guidelines since they've been following since April 30th.
So the guidelines have led some municipalities to create more stringent, more effective ordinances to fight the spread of COVID-19. WHNT News 19 investigative reporter Kelly Smith joins us live in the newsroom with our top story at 5.
Greg, Shevaun, when the safer at home order went into effect at the end of April, 7,000 people had tested positive for COVID-19 in Alabama, according to the Department of Public Health. Since that time, the case count has grown to more than 37,000, and 28% of those cases were confirmed in the last 14 days. Today, the governor did not change her order. She just asked people to follow it.
The fact is, folks, we are still in the thick of this virus disease, and it is deadly.
More than 10,000 Alabamians tested positive for COVID-19 in the past 2 weeks. The positive case rate is 10.9%, the highest it's been since the pandemic began. While the state health order will not be relaxed as scheduled, it also will not become more restrictive.
Well, folks not following the restrictions we've offered. I mean, we need to keep social distancing, wearing face masks, personal hygiene. We need to do the basics that we've been told by the medical community that we need to do. Let's just do it.
Governor Ivey stressed the importance of wearing masks.
You shouldn't have to order somebody to do what is just in your own best interest and that of the folks that you care about.
20 states across the U.S. have made masks mandatory. In Alabama, several municipalities, including Birmingham, Montgomery, and Selma, as well as Jefferson County, have created a mask ordinance. Decatur city officials will discuss it Tuesday night. Over the past week, elected officials in Madison County have explained why they are hesitant to make them mandatory.
There's people that believe that they want to preserve their freedoms. If they don't want to wear one, they don't believe they should be made to wear one. There are different dynamics today than we had a week ago, nevertheless, 14 weeks ago.
Governor Ivey says she will not mandate masks.
You know, Dr. Harrison, I can order you to wear a mask, but it would be next to impossible to enforce.
Leaving this decision completely up to local governments. And since there are more than 450 municipalities in the state, there are hundreds of decisions to be made about one common goal, the goal of stopping the spread of COVID-19. Governor Ivey stressed the importance of not overwhelming hospitals and mentioned following the safer at home order so she does not have to replace it with another stay at home order. Dr. Harris said there are currently more than 700 people hospitalized in Alabama for COVID-19, and only 275 ICU beds are open across the state. In the newsroom, Kelly Smith, WHNT News 19.
All right, thank you, Kelly. Alabama now has 37,000 COVID-19 cases and counting. The state has seen more than 10,000 new cases just in the past 14 days. Now, with this recent spike, the state requested the CDC come here and assist in Alabama's fight against the coronavirus. Malik Rankin from our sister station in Birmingham has more.
Dr. Karen Landers is the assistant state health officer. She says her department asked the CDC for assistance as the pandemic worsens in Alabama.
You know, we want our numbers to go down, and we have advised measures to reduce these numbers. And we know that if we don't get these numbers down, that our healthcare system is going to continue to be strained and potentially overwhelmed.
The CDC team includes epidemiologists, a risk communicator, and an informatics specialist. They'll be here for a week and a half, improving the state's COVID-19 dashboard.
So we expect to provide some additional county-specific data that will really help in terms of addressing the problem at the local county level.
Those improvements could help in tracking the spread of the coronavirus. In the past week, we've seen restaurants, offices, and police departments forced to close because of positive cases.
The biggest fear I had was just how quickly it could possibly spread, and we don't want to be down very long for the public.
Trussville City Hall is closed for the week after an employee tested positive for COVID-19. In Calera, a police officer tested positive on Sunday, taking out everyone on his shift for the time being.
We sent everyone from that shift who had worked with that officer or come in contact with that officer for testing, and we're still waiting on those test results.
Dr. Landers says the new data will help understand the virus's spread, but can't account for those that travel county to county.
Now back here in Madison County, Madison City Schools COVID-19 task force met today. A spokesperson for the district said the group consisted of teachers, parents, principals, administrators, and students. They all will create a roadmap for reopening under state guidelines. We'll bring you all updates from the task force on air and online on WHNT.com, as well as on our news app. Trash Panda's president and CEO Ralph Nelson held a press conference just after 4 today at Toyota Field to announce that the minor league baseball season has officially been canceled. WHNT News 19 sports reporter Olivia Whitmire was at today's news conference and joins us live with more on the announcement.
That's right, Shevaun. This is news that Ralph Nelson and minor league baseball fans have honestly been expecting for a while now, but still an incredibly emotional day here at Toyota Field, since Trash Pandas fans will have to wait until next year to see the team play in this stadium. Now, baseball fans all over the country, not just here in North Alabama, we're hoping to see a minor league season, but everyone's health and safety is most important. Now, Nelson said it best today. We're still bringing baseball back to North Alabama. We just have to wait a little bit longer, and he says the inaugural season will be even bigger and better in 2021.
Baseball has always been a part of the healing when our country has come back from tragic times, and I firmly believe the Trash Pandas will help heal North Alabama when we come out on the other side of this pandemic an even stronger community.
Nelson says this community has embraced the Trash Pandas like no other fan base has supported a minor league team before, and he knows this is disappointing, but again, we just have to wait until next year to see baseball back here in North Alabama. Now we're going to have more on the season cancellation tonight at 6 and 10. Reporting live at Toyota Field, Olivia Whitmire, WHNT News 19 Sports.
All right, thank you, Olivia. Teleworking can be challenging without Wi-Fi access, but it can be especially troubling for rural communities that lack the technology for high-speed internet. That situation is turning around in some areas in North Alabama. WHNT News 19's Elijah Baker shows us how rural families are getting connected to better service.
Internet service will now be faster and stronger for rural communities in North Alabama and parts of Tennessee. Hundreds of miles of fiber optic cable will replace the copper network system that made internet connectivity difficult to use.
Fiber has been termed future-proof, And what that means is that, nothing right now that we know of travels really faster than the speed of light.
Ardmore Telephone Chief Operating Officer Karen Jackson Furman says that speed of light information transmission will allow rural families to download and upload large files and stream video better than before. The construction guys are placing fiber optic cable at this location in Newmarket. Crew members say fiber optic cable is usually buried underground, but as a cost-saving measure, the guys say they will attach some of that cable to existing fiber cables on these electrical poles. This project could finally happen because of a $20 million loan from the United States Department of Agriculture. Jackson Furman says it's been a 2-year wait.
We have many customers that right now are living with a 3 meg connection, and we understand that in today's times that's not sufficient.
For teleworking parents and students, Jackson Furman says insufficient internet access shouldn't cripple workflow because of where you live.
They deserve the same connectivity and the same technological opportunities.
90% of the network will run through fiber connections after upgrades are complete. In Newmarket, Elijah Baker, WHNT, News 19.
Madison County Schools Public Information Officer Tim Hall says broadband access has been a game changer. Not too long ago, the Huntsville's Facebook Data Center donated nearly $1 million to help the district enhance connectivity for all students.
WHNT News 19 is your local election headquarters. President Trump's campaign has scrapped plans to hold a rally in Mobile next weekend amid concerns about rising COVID-19 numbers. The president was slated to travel to Alabama ahead of the Senate race between Tommy Tuberville and Jeff Sessions. The president was going to hold the rally for Tuberville, who he's backing over his former Attorney General Jeff Sessions. The Trump campaign says there are currently no rallies on the horizon. Now the runoff election between Tuberville and Jeff Sessions is quickly approaching. Alabama Secretary of State John Merrill says Alabama voters have 9 days left to apply for an absentee ballot. Secretary Merrill encourages those who are concerned about contracting or spreading COVID-19 to apply for and cast an absentee ballot. A link to find an absentee ballot application can be found at WHNT.com or our mobile news app.
The inaugural End of Watch Ride to Remember made its way through Huntsville today to remember Huntsville police officer Billy Clardy III. Clardy died while performing a narcotics operation last December. The ride stopped at the Davidson Center this morning to remember officers like Clardy who lost their lives in the line of duty last year. The ride started June 1st. It's going to continue through August 5th. Little River Canyon National Preserve workers are gearing up for one of the busiest times of the year, and that's the Independence Day weekend. After the break, we're going to share a warning from park rangers to keep you safe while enjoying time with your family and friends. Thank you very much for watching WHNT News 19 at 5.